You know the kind of movies that stick with you long after the credits roll. The ones that make your skin crawl and your stomach turn. Well, we have the best ones compiled for you. Be warned, these aren't just jump scares and shadows. These are movies when the terror feels a little too real. Number 10. Cannibal Holocaust. Cannibal Holocaust is a film that blurs the line between fiction and reality so well that it sparked some serious controversy. Director Ruggero Deodato found himself accused of murder because the violence was so disturbingly realistic that many believed the actors had been truly killed. The story followed a group of filmmakers traveling deep into the jungle to document indigenous tribes. But as the horror unfolds, it's clear that the real monsters are the filmmakers themselves, not the cannibals they came to film. The violence is relentless, with unforgettable scenes like a woman impaled on a spike. But for many, the hardest moments to watch are the scenes involving animals, which were terrifyingly real. These weren't special effects, and the fact alone makes this film even more unsettling. You will want to look away, but somehow it keeps you glued to the screen. If you think you can handle it, the Cannibal Holocaust will haunt you for a long time. Number 9. The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Director Yorgos Lanthimos has always been known for his unique offbeat style. But if you're looking for his darkest work, look no further than The Killing of a Sacred Deer. This horror thriller showcases Lanthimos' love for the bizarre, but with a tension that crawls under your skin and stays there. Colin Farrell plays Stephen Murphy, a highly successful surgeon with a picture-perfect family life. From the outside, everything seems flawless. Wealth, a beautiful home, and a loving wife and kids. But when Stephen meets Martin, an awkward and strangely intense teenager played by Barry Keoghan, things take a dark turn. This isn't your typical horror film. It's something more psychological, more unnerving. If you're a fan of a slow-burning, thought-provoking thrillers, The Killing of a Sacred Deer will pull you in and won't let you go. Number 8. The Longlegs. Longlegs is one of the most talked about indie horror hits in recent years. It quickly grabbed attention for being labeled by critics as one of the scariest films of the decade. The story centers around FBI agent Lee Harker, played by Micah Monroe, who is tasked with solving the mystery of the notorious serial killer known as Longlegs, portrayed by none other than Nicolas Cage. Longlegs is linked to a chilling series of family murder-suicides. Longlegs begins to play a twisted game with her, turning her investigation into a dangerous psychological battle. Longlegs isn't packed with gore or constant jump scares. Instead, it makes up for it by building an overwhelming sense of dread that never lets up. The tension is masterfully crafted, with moments that keep viewers scared for the protagonist till the end. The film thrives on the fear of the unknown, using its eerie atmosphere to create a sense of terror in viewers. And then there is Cage. His portrayal of Longlegs is nothing short of unforgettable. He is menacing and oddly sympathetic, with touches of dark humor that only he can pull off. His performance turns the character into an instant horror icon. You don't want to miss this one. Number 7. Barbarian. Barbarian is easily one of the most wild and unexpected horror films to hit the screen in recent years. At first glance, it seems like your typical creepy setup. Tara, played by Georgina Campbell, books an Airbnb only to find it's been double booked by a stranger named Keith, played by Bill Skarsgård. The film's second half goes completely off the rails, diving into bizarre, twisted territory with shocking and grotesque moments. Despite its descent into madness, Barbarian manages to keep things balanced with humor, keeping it from reaching the disturbing extremes of some other horror films. This is a movie that thrives on unpredictability, delivering a crazy experience that will leave viewers in shock, wondering what they just watched. Number 6. Wreck. Found footage horror has become a staple in the genre, and few films have used it as effectively as the Spanish masterpiece Wreck. Fans enjoyed films like The Blair Witch Project that set a standard for movies like this. Wreck is equally good, and it delivers an intense claustrophobic experience that pulls you right into the chaos. The story follows a TV reporter played by Manuela Velasco and her cameraman played by Pablo Rosso as they accompany emergency responders into a dark apartment building, only to find themselves trapped inside by a deadly virus outbreak. One by one, the residents begin turning into violent, flesh-hungry cannibals. What makes Wreck truly terrifying is the way the found footage technique immerses you completely in the action. It feels raw and real, like you're watching an actual news broadcast gone horribly wrong. The film's realistic performances, special effects, and chilling atmosphere make every moment feel disturbingly authentic. Wreck is a roller coaster of terror that will leave you questioning what you just experienced. Number 5. The Descent. The Descent is a masterclass in claustrophobic horror, offering one of the most spine-chilling experiences in the genre. The film takes you into a dark, twisted cave system. Here you meet a group of friends, hoping for an adventurous expedition. They soon find themselves trapped and terrorized by savage, bloodthirsty creatures. It's a return to pure visceral horror, using the confined, eerie settings to ramp up the fear factor. The tension builds slowly at first, but once it takes off, it unleashes a big wave of terror that grips you until the very end. And the ending, leaving you with a sense of dread and hopelessness as the screen fades to black. Number 4. The Pipy Tapes. The Pipy Tapes is a fake documentary that digs into a collection of gruesome VHS tapes, showing a serial killer's horrifying acts of torture, murder, and dismemberment. The film mixes interviews and analysis to try to understand the twisted mind behind these shocking snuff films. What makes the Pipy Tapes so unnerving is how real it feels. Many viewers thought the footage was actually genuine. Its extreme and disturbing content was so intense that distributors were too frightened to release it, leaving the film lost and banned for almost a decade before it finally came out. This isn't just a disturbing watch, it's a crazy experience that will stick with you long after the movie ends. Number 3. The Human Centipede. If you have not watched The Human Centipede, you cannot call yourself a horror movie fan. A mad doctor surgically stitches 3 people together, mouth to anus, creating a living nightmare. If this movie isn't enough, it has also spawned 2 even more grotesque sequels. The film is packed with grotesque moments, especially the surgery where the victims are brutally joined to form the centipede. You'll witness every horrifying detail of the surgery too. It is as wild and horrific as it can get. Number 2. Hereditary. Hereditary is known for its slow burn tension and eerie atmosphere, but it takes a horrifying turn with some scenes that are hard to forget. This is one of those movies which were labeled one of the best of its kind when it was released. One of the most shocking moments in the film involves a devastating accident that occurs while the family's 16-year-old son Peter is driving his 13-year-old sister Charlie to the hospital. The scene is so chilling that you will not be able to forget that scene even if you wanted to. This movie has one of the best monologue of all time as well by Toni Collette, who played the mother in the film. You don't want to miss this one. Number 1. Salo. Pasolini's final film Salo, or the 120 Days of Sodom, is like a drive into a dark, twisted nightmare. It takes the Marquis de Sade story and throws it into Mussolini's last days in Italy. 4 rich and powerful men kidnap a bunch of young people, including their daughters, and lock them up in a mansion. What follows is pure cruelty. Think horrific assaults, brutal violence, and dehumanizing torture. One of the most brutal scenes, a victim after begging for death is forced to eat something you cannot even begin to comprehend. So which movie are you going to watch first? Let us know in the comments section below. Hit that like button and subscribe to stay connected with us. See you in the next one.